young somehow. How's your
Yes.
baby, Ralph?
He's good. Getting big.
Hey, wow! Congratulations!
Thank you. He's 4 months. Let's see. In 3 more days. 4 more days.
Have you gotten very much sleep? Is he a good baby? Does he sleep through the night?
Yes, he does.
Just be careful. You know what they say. When you have a good baby who sleeps through the night, just a good baby, they'll give you a hard time when they're teenagers.
Oh no.
I know. That's what I always say. I said, oh gosh, my son was so good. He was such a calm baby. And he was just really, really good. And then his teenage years, oh my God, he made us suffer for 3 years.
Oh.
I just had my coffee, so I'm gonna go hurry up and I'm on the line. I'm gonna do a few things, so don't call me just yet. I'm listening in, okay? I'm just gonna go on.
Good morning, Vice Chairman on the line.
Morning, Mr.
Vice
Joe.
Chair, awesome.
Morning, Mr. Chair. This is Sherelle.
Hey, Terrell. Hi. All right,
Hello.
you're back.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, good you're back. You guys are all safe. Hello, everyone on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, Law and Order Committee. This is Delia Brown. I'm on the line. Thank you.
Good morning, Nate.
No.
Yes, good morning, Nate. Honorable Brown. Good morning. Just don't mind me if there's background in my on my phone. I'm doing my morning run. Sort of woke up late, so I just have to get it in and I don't. Other thing, Chair, I'm gonna excuse my 12 o'clock for about an hour. If you guys are still on, I'll get back on by 1 o'clock. I have a community meeting that's going on at noon, so that's just to let you guys know. Thank you. Going back on mute.
Sounds good. Do we have any other Law and Order Committee members who are currently on the line? It's myself and Honorable Otto Still. We do have Honorable Nate Brown, who was also on the line as well. So do we have any other committee members or other delegates who are currently on the line? Do we have the controller, Pearline Kirk, on the line?
Chairwoman, I emailed her this morning also and then yesterday.
Okay, sounds good. As long as she's aware that she will be presenting to Law and Order Committee today. Thank you. Do we have any of the presenters online? Pearline Kirk, Jesse Delmar, Larry Chief?
Madam Chair, Chief Cheese online.
Good morning,
Thank you for
Madam.
being on the line, Mr. Chief.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Loretta Largo from OSC is on the line.
Madam Chair, I just got an email from Jesse Delmar. He said that Chief will be attending the meeting. He's out today. FYI.
Thank you. Welcome, Ms. Largo. And also, thank you, Lorraine, for letting me know about having Mr. Francisco on the line. Thank you.
Good morning, Delegate James on the line.
Good morning, Sonella. Okay, so with that, we do have 3 committee members who are currently present. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is now 10:11. Lorraine, can you assist with doing the roll call, please?
Roll call for Law and Order Committee. Regina Charles Newton.
Present from Shiprock, New Mexico.
Otto So.
I'm present.
Vince James.
Delegate James present.
Eugene So. Eugene So.
Sorry, Eugene
Deputy
just
Yazzie?
now text me.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Lorraine. Eugene So just now text me. He had the wrong number, so he is going to be calling in here shortly. Just FYI.
Okay. Edmund Yazzie. Edmund Yazzie. We have 3 members present, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that, Lorraine. And just to be clear, committee members or staff, have you received a text message from Edmund Yazzie regarding today's meeting?
No.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lorraine. Honorable James, can you tell me what your location is?
No problem, James. Look.
All right. Honorable.
Downtown
Where are
Quebec
you at?
City, walking up Main Street.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. So with that, again, this is the Law and Order Committee for the 24th Navajo Nation Council. This is a regular meeting via teleconference. Today is July 27th, 2020. Again, we did call the meeting to order. Roll call takes now at invocation. Sherelle, welcome back. We are really excited that you are back with us. We did miss you. I think that Heather did an awesome job covering you, but we're always glad to have our full staff back. So with that, Sherelle, can I ask you to go ahead and give the invocation for us this morning?
Sure. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the welcome back. Hope all of you guys are doing well. But I'll go ahead and start. Dear Heavenly Father, I pray to you at this time, this morning, that I thank you, Lord, for another day and many more days and years, months to come, Heavenly Father. I pray that this meeting that Law and Order will be having today, this morning, will go good and smooth, Heavenly Father. And that I pray for each family member's families to have good health, good condition, and to have us fight this virus that is going on, Heavenly Father. Let there be a cure to it, and let us move on with our daily lives. And then just to bless each and every one of us individually, Heavenly Father, for each and every one of us that has gone through hardships. I pray that you heal us and that you protect us each and every day, Heavenly Father. Keep the germs away from us. Keep the virus away from each and every one of us is what I'm asking for, Heavenly Father. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you for that, Sherelle. And again, welcome back. We're really excited and congratulations on the new addition to your family. So with that, committee members, we are moving down to item number 2, recognizing guests and visiting officials. Committee members, we do have Honorable Nate Brown, who is on the line with us. Are there any other delegates who are currently on the line? Okay. We do have Loretta Largo
I'm here.
from the Office of the Control. Honorable Eugene So, welcome and thank you for joining us. Can you tell us what your location is?
I kept saying you here, but you guys didn't hear me.
Can you tell us what your location is, she's asked?
What's that?
They know that Donald Trump is.
What is your location?
Say it again.
Where are you at?
I have to be at home with that. I can't go no
Are you
I'm
in
too
Chin?
old.
Are you in Chinle?
Yeah. What can you say?
Okay.
Up in the cliffs. Up in the cliffs. Well,
All
that's
right.
you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable. So we are, we are on item number 2, recognizing guests and visiting officials. As I already stated, we do have Honorable Nate Brown, who's on the line with us. We also have Loretta Largo from the Office of the Controller. We will be having, I'm not sure if he's already on the line. Francisco will be on the line with us as well. Mr. Delmar is not in today, so he won't be making any reports to us today. It'll be coming from Ms. Francisco, and then we also have Mr. Larry Chief, Fire Chief of the Navajo Nation Fire Department, who's also on the line. Do we have anybody else who's on the line with us?
Madam Chair, Ron Haven here, Legislative Council's office. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Marty Ashley calling in and listening in to your meeting today.
Good morning. This is Chris Cascoli with the Navajo EMS.
Hey, welcome, gentlemen, Mr. Haven, Mr. Ashley, and Mr. Cascoli for, thank you for being on this committee meeting this morning. Committee members, we're at item number 3, review and adopt the agenda. Lorraine, can you go ahead and read the agenda into record? Hello, Lorraine?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you go ahead
Okay.
and read the agenda into record?
Sure. Okay. Agenda of the Law and Order Committee, 24th Navajo Nation Council, regular meeting by teleconference, July 27th, 2020, 10 a.m. Presiding Eugenia Charles Newton, Chairwoman, Otto So, Vice Chairperson. Going down to number 1, call regular meeting to order, roll call and invocation. 2, recognize guests and visiting officials. Number 3, review and adopt agenda. Number 4, review and adopt the journal. There's none. 5, receive reports. A, update report from Perlin Kirk. Controller, Navajo Nation Controller's Office regarding first responders pay. B, report from Jesse Dalmar, Executive Director, Navajo Nation Department of Public Safety on the status of Navajo Nation Police Academy recruits. Going down to C, report from Larry Chief, Fire Chief, Navajo Nation Fire Department on the fire truck delivery and the special duty pay. Old business none, new business legislation number 0156-20. 8, code of the meeting, adjournment, announcement and adjournment. Madam Chair.
Thank you for that, Lorraine. Committee members, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion by Vice Chair.
Motion made by Honorable Otto So. Can I get a second?
Second by Eugene.
Second by Honorable Eugene So. Committee members, are there any other, are there any amendments that need to be made to the agenda? Any questions or comments? If not, I will proceed to the vote, but I'll give you a few seconds to decide whether you want the motion to amend the agenda. I'm going on mute for a few seconds.
Madam Chair, should say. Eugene.
Oh, Honorable Eugene So. Go ahead.
I had a legislation that we met on with the prosecutor and the DOJ regarding the executive order. I just want to know where that's at now. It's supposed to be regards to the pandemic.
like cases, things that happens to the reservation. And I wonder if Ron would know about it. Maybe I'll ask that question. Maybe put it on the agenda for me.
Okay.
It's not going to be legislation right now, but it's supposed to be coming up. I don't know where it is. I just want the status on it. Thank you.
Madam Chair?
So, yes, is that Mr. Haven?
Yes, it is. Could I go ahead and try
Mr.
to ask?
Haven.
Yeah. I believe what Mr. So's inquiring about is the emergency orders and the enforcement of these emergency orders and the insertion into Title 17 of the violations of these orders. Now, I have drafted the resolution, okay, and I have also Miss Mariana Khan looking at it this morning, and also the prosecutor, and it should be ready, Mr. So. If there are no further comments on it, you can pick it up today. I'd say about 2 o'clock, and I would call ahead of time before you take that drive into Windrock. I'm not sure basically how you plan on picking up the documents, but it should be ready. So if that's what you're inquiring about, that's my response. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, thank you.
You're
I'll take care
welcome, Honorable Udinso. So with that committee
Madam
members,
Chair.
since there's no Honorable Otto, go ahead.
Just to elaborate a little bit on Honorable So's legislation. I believe that's the legislation that we talked with the Attorney General and the prosecutor relating to the sliding scale fine proposal for violating a pandemic. So what I would like to do is that I'll be in Windrock either this evening or tomorrow morning. If it's ready by that time, Honorable So, I'll go ahead and co-sponsor it for you. That way we get it into the hopper. I don't just plan of coming into Windrock to try to sign off on the main legislation so that you're the prime sponsor. So I'm glad that this is finally out and that we have something that will be geared to violation of health orders and so forth. But again, thank you very much. I'm going to go back on mute.
There you go, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen, both for working that out. Since there's no motion to amend the agenda, no other comments or questions, I'll go ahead and proceed forward to the vote. Honorable Vince James, how do you vote?
Delegate James votes green.
Honorable James votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Green, that's it.
Green for Honorable Eugene So. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Otto So votes green. Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Okay, with that, committee members, we do have one person not 3 in favor, 0 opposed, one person not voting. That's the chair, and one who is absent, and that's Honorable Edmund Yazzie. The agenda for the Law and Order Committee regular meeting for today, July 27, 2020, is hereby adopted. So we'll move down to item number 4, review and adopt the journals. There is none. Item number 5, we are at receiving reports. We do have the first report from the Office of the Controller regarding the first responders pay. And I'd also like to add on to that overtime as well, because I believe a lot of our first responders have not been paid their overtime. Ms. Perling Kirk is not here with us. We do have Ms. Loretta Largo. Ms. Largo, are you on the line?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm on the line.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Largo, for being on the line. Committee members, do we have a motion to hear the report given to us today by Ms. Largo?
Vice Chair motion.
Honorable Otto So, motion. Can I get a second?
Second, Gene.
Second by Honorable Eugene So. Ms. Largo, I believe that this is the first time that you'll be presenting before the Law and Order Committee, so let me go over just the rules, the way the committee functions. You will have 15 minutes to present your information. If you need an additional 5 minutes, 5 minutes can be granted upon the unanimous consent of the committee, which will give you a total of 20 minutes. If needed, you will hear the timer go off. Ms. Lorraine Spencer is in charge of the timer, so she usually has a timer that goes off. Upon completion of your report, if you could let us know that you are completed, because sometimes you may get done before the time runs out. At that point, the floor will be given over to the committee members for any questions based on the presentation that you've given or based on the information previously provided to this committee regarding the first responders pay and also overtime. And then once questions have been completed, I'll turn the floor back over to you, Ms. Largo, and it kind of goes back and forth that way. You can have agents with you. You can have up to 3 agents, so yourself and 2 other people can also provide information to the committee. Anything that that's presented to the committee, we do like to have that committee report in writing so that we have that for our record. And just to be clear, this committee meeting is recorded and is also presented on the World Wide Web. If there is a need to go into executive session, you do have to ask, and there will be a vote on whether we do go into executive session. But I believe that the information that you provide to us today is public information, but that is on the table if need be. Ms. Largo, before you proceed with your presentation, do you have any questions?
No, Madam Chair, I don't have any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Largo. I'm just going to remind everyone before we begin to please put your phone on mute. Ms. Largo, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. We sent 2 pay periods of information for both special duty and overtime pay for the first responders, which is DPS. So I'm really hoping you have that information pulled up. So Ms. Lorraine should have forwarded that information to you. So just so we show information that you would like to see for both special duty and overtime pay, the amount that's been paid, we are going to go over 2 pay periods just so you guys have information as to what we're doing. First, just an overall view. Here in OOC payroll, what we normally do is we pay out each pay period the timesheet hours first. This is, I'll be speaking both in reference to the special duty pay and overtime. So once we receive the timesheet information, we key those in by pay period, and then after that we receive the overtime form for the special duty pay, and then we also receive an overtime form for the regular overtime forms. And all this information before it gets to us has to go through general accounting or contract accounting for funds availability. So once the accountants from OOC, general accounting, and contract accounting sign off on them, then it comes to our office finally. So when the departments submit their information, that's the route it goes. So giving you some information there. So after it reaches our desk, since the call has gone out with the executive order, through to date, we have through July 17th, we have received a lot of requests. So the first things first is the people that were on the official executive order, but in there it also states that the executive director can appoint their staff as essential. So since that was in there, we've had a whole lot more submissions on top of the first responders. So we're trying to keep everybody, we're scheduling everybody as they come in. Some, as the requests come in, some of the overtime and special duty forms, we normally send back because there's missing information on them. So we have to go through that process. And I know at the previous meetings, Ms. Kirk has provided that information to you all. So the hours that's worked on the overtime form have to correspond with the information that we have paid out previously on the timesheet. So all those have to correlate for us to be able to meet the CARES Act guidance and frequently asked questions guidance. So those are the two reasons why we have to make sure that everything ties in. So the first part that we're going to look at will be pay period 6/19/20. So I'll just go at a higher level. So I can make use of the 15 minutes. So for special duty pay is on the left-hand side, right after the department and the department name. And then there's a line splitting, and the other heading says regular overtime. So for the special duty pay, the hours from all of law enforcement, the police department, fire and rescue, CI, and Department of Corrections, we have paid 28,620 hours. So plus the 1971 for at time and a half. So the total that we've paid for special duty pay on 6/19 pay period is $370,536.57. And then the regular overtime, which is just overtime plus the holiday pay, because we still have holidays within a couple of months that we've had some holiday pay hours. We've also paid those out. That's $65,965. So between special duty and regular overtime pay, for pay period 6/19/20, we paid $436,321. So that's how much we paid out for 6/19, just to show you these numbers. And we'll move on to pay period 7/3/20. So on 7/3/20, it's the same format. Department names, the hours on the left-hand side for special duty, and the hours for regular overtime pay on the right-hand side. So the special duty pay, we paid out $189,447. $189,047, and regular overtime pay for that pay period, we paid $12,001.69. So for a total of $201,048.86. So if those are the two pay periods we will go over. That will be the end of my presentation, Madam Chair, and I will be available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Largo, and thank you for sending this information regarding the payroll process and how much has been paid out. Committee members, do we have any questions for Ms. Largo?
Vice Chair, this question.
Honorable Otto.
Thank you very much, Ms. Largo, for making the presentation, and Madam Chair, thank you for allowing me time. I don't the committee members Good morning to my Nelly and Lukan and my other Nelly in Tinsley, somewhere way up, stuck up on side of the rocks in Canyon de Shea. Good morning. Then again, staff, good morning. Then all of individuals on the line and Honorable Brown. So since the special duty pay, the information has been set up, the pay accounts and so forth. My assumption from here, or when we paid out, legislated the two legislations that allowed for these funds to be set up for the special duty pay. I just would like to say that from that day that we passed that legislation, from that day, we shouldn't be hearing anything from staff to say that I haven't get it or anything. But in the meantime, we as the legislatures, we know that we did set up and appropriate funds for that purpose related to the special duty pay. I believe from here forth, we really shouldn't be hearing anything to say that I haven't get it or anything. If individuals still continue to come forth to say that I haven't get these special duty pay, I guess one thing that we need to get is a confirmed statement from the individuals instead of keeping them anonymous. That way we have things on the record to say that this individual, John Doe or Jane Doe, has not received their special duty pay, where we at, and things like that. I believe that way we can address things a lot more easier related to this issue. But in the meantime, I am grateful that we do have this set up. Number two, the $4 million, $3 million that came from Department of that came from BIA. Just wondering where those dollars are at, because I understand those dollars are set up for special duty pay and things related to COVID-19. And I believe we need to get an update. Where are those monies? The dollars that are tied up with inside the Department of Navajo Nation Enrollment Office. I believe they use that program to channel the money through from BIA, since there was an existing contract. And I would like to see where those monies are at. And I believe if we can, maybe we could pull in the division director and individuals that could help assist to get the dollars into this account for law enforcement personnel to pay their special duty payout. That way we're adding money to the pot. But the thing is that we have a time period to spend these monies, and I know the amount that we set up with the controller. I don't know how long that $20 million is going to be available. With that, and then there's other programs out there that we're already paying out special duty pay to, what I understand. And those programs are programs that have money, additional funding that they could utilize to pay. So that leads to the third question: is that will those programs be reimbursed? The special duty hours that they were paying out, those are Navajo Nation dollars. And if we could get a timeline on when those dollars would be paid out, for instance, I believe just like the fire department had extra resources, so I'm not too sure when they started paying out special duty pay. And from that day to the day that we paid out the $20 million for the special duty pay. I guess that amount that the nation utilized. Again, I guess timeline of that reimbursement of that line item that the fire department, nor even EMS too. I believe they got some extra dollars too that they were utilizing for special duty pay, so that the timelines for them to be reimbursed. So that leads to my third question. And then my fourth question is, I believe, with the $20 million that has been set up with the controller's office, what is the next drawdown that you guys are thinking about requesting for next once that $20 million deplete? Because that down draw is something that we are going to have to look at and budget for, because we don't we have some sort of information of what the special duty pay is per month, and I believe we need to get that ready so that we could ensure that the special duty pay continues all the way up to the December 30th, 2020. Okay, we have to make sure that these dollars are we have to get those dollars in place, because right now we are having the discussion related to the CARES Act, and if we continue to go the way we're going right now, they're going to deplete everything. But in the meantime, controller's office, you need to look at what's the next down draw request for overtime and special duty pay for related to the CARES Act, or to this issue. So that's the attention that I want to bring to you guys, and I'm sure you guys are working on this, but I really hope that you have this thing planned out so that we can try to take care of this matter in advance, because I don't want to hear in October we don't have no money. We don't have no dollars for special duty pay or so forth. But you have to start planning out from here, from all the way out to the 31st, or the 31st of December. Okay, thank you. Turn the floor back over to this chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Committee members, are there any other questions for Ms. Lardo? Okay, Ms. Lardo, I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor back over to you. There were a few questions that were asked of you by Mr. Otto, and then some comments as well, so I give you the opportunity to respond back. The floor is yours, Ms. Lardo.
Thank you again, and Madam Chair and committee members. Thank you, Delegate So, for your questions. I tried to write fast. That was quite a bit of information. So for the legislated amount and in reference to the $20 million and the question that also relates to the internal funds for DPS and from the census office, I would defer that question to, he's correct, the division directors for those departments, because we need to make sure that those have been set up and that we that information is that those account numbers are ready to be drawn from when these documents are turned into our office. So they would be in a better position to answer that. And then the question to programs reimbursement for special duty pay. So far, we are in our office internally working on that, the timeline into which these funds will be reimbursed. And the top two we would be looking to reimburse is the general funds and the 638 fund. So when we do have the timeline, which we are working on currently, we will make those available as soon as we know. So those are, I believe, the last question as to a drawdown. I'm thinking that Delegate So is referring to maybe another expenditure plan to request additional funds to continue paying out the special duty pay. We will also plan on that internally. We're working on all of those numbers. We do have numbers daily, but we just need to get all of that together and send in for another request. So OMB would be in a better position to answer as to when and if the budgets have been set up. So on the 20 million plus the census office budget numbers for DPS. So, Madam Chair, that is our answer from OOC. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Largo, for the information. Committee members, are there any other questions for Ms. Largo at this time?
Chairwoman, this is Delegate So again.
Honorable Auditor, go ahead.
The other thing that I have on my mind is that the additional drawdown. My first question was that when do you think the existing 20 million are you gonna deplete? That's what's the estimated timeline? You're gonna deplete that 20 million. And then number two, on the additional down draw that needs to be done, it has to be planned because we have to get the legislations in place so that these down draws are covered. Like I said, I don't want to have controller's office telling us we need another down draw like in mid part of October when they deplete the fund. So in the meantime, I would really strategize on finding out what the payout is per month, average payout, and you could use that average payout to actually determine how much funds may be needed. You may not need any additional funds, but you may need additional funds in October if the funds deplete. Then the other thing too is with the possible reopening of the Navajo Nation government. When you have the full workforce of the Navajo Nation, what is the projected special duty pay that you're going to be paying to those additional employees that is brought back to work? Because most likely they will be seen as essential employees. And with that, what would that running number look like if you have the full Navajo Nation employees back on the payroll? So, thank you.
Committee members, are there any other questions at this time for Ms. Largo? Okay, Ms. Largo, I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor back over to you to answer the questions and to reply to the comments made by Honorable Otto. So, Ms. Largo, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Madam Chair and honorable delegates. Thank you for those questions, Delegate. So, right now we're presuming to be at least 2 million a pay period for the entire nation, special duty pay. So we're looking towards the end of the second pay period in September to deplete these funds. As to the DPS group, right now, if you look on your report, you can see that we have yet to record numbers for the Department of Corrections. So right now, Department of Corrections have just now submitted their information for special duty pay back to March and April. And we have been in communications with them. So there's still some time lag as to getting all the information here to us. So just want to let you know. So, however, having said that, I believe the nation's going back, working on a back to work plan. So not certain the timeline on that, but we know that that's in the works. So we're thinking that it was under our impression that the special duty pay will be listed after the back to work has been implemented. So right now, the special duty pay procedures states that it will end when the Navajo Nation executive order ends with another executive order ending that. Having said that, we know that the pandemic is not ending yet, so that would be a completely different discussion as well. So that is what we have as our answer. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, committee members, are there any other questions for Ms. Largo at this time?
Madam Chair?
Honorable Otto Stowe?
So, thank you very much for the info to let us know when the 20 million will deplete. I would really work towards looking at securing the rest from the mid part of September all the way out to the end of the year, and we need those information into the legislation that will be coming forth from council, so that we make sure that we do take care of all the special duties pay. There from mid part of September all the way out to December 31st. So that's roughly about 2 pay periods per month. So that's by that time 4, 12, 13 pay periods. That not 13, correction, probably 7 pay periods or so, 6 pay periods that need to be adjusted for in the adjustment amount, because I hate for those dollars to deplete, and with the 714 million that we have, I want to make sure that we do have all the special duty pay in place, so that we're not worrying about it towards the end of the year, and we know that those dollars will be expended within that time period. And then with it, we have programs and things that the Navajo Nation Council wants to fund with these care dollars and leadership. And what I'm getting to is that that amount is going to deplete if the Office of the Controller does not provide this information to leadership all up front. you have some sort of data to indicate right now with the current workforce, the current minimum workforce we have is $2 million per pay period. So I'm assuming that's the whole Navajo Nation department right now. But what I'm getting to is that if the if the tribal employees come back to work, what would that number be, and what would that be? What would that adjusted number would reflect to the current status of tribal employees to the status of full tribal employees? So, thank you.
Committee members, are there any other questions for Ms. Largo at this time?
Madam Chair, this is Delegate Brown. If I may, I have 2 questions.
Yes, go ahead, Honorable Brown.
Ayata, thank you. Shanala, Madam Chair, Eugenia Charles Noon, Ado Vice Chair, Shiado Shache, Ado Law and Order Committee, thank you. Ado everyone on the line. I have 2 questions. The number one my first question is, do you have a list from the Controller's Office? I know with the Budget and Finance Committee, we've asked how many of the what's considered, besides the obvious first responders, but the others who are requesting or eligible for these special duty pay. If we can, if the 24th Navajo Nation Council could be forward a list of who is being eligible at this time. My second question is, I know that our non-essential workers, they're still getting paid, and on top of that, you have the CARES Act funding that I know Madam Controller and the team from multiple departments are working on. And then, so I wanted to know, have you hired, or what is the backlog? I would imagine with this special duty pay adds another layer to your work that you already have going on. And what's the backlog on that? And then how can we as council support in getting more staff, if that will help, or do we need an outside firm to help us at this time so we do not fall behind? Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for asking those questions, Honorable Brown. So with that, Ms. Lobo, I'm going to turn the floor back over to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and honorable delegates. First, to Council Delegate So's response to his, yes, we are working every day on numbers to provide. So we're staying on top as much as possible with all of these numbers that we have, going forward to ensuring that we do have numbers to provide when we need to request. And you are correct, we will work on getting those numbers as part of the legislation here soon. So we are working on that as fast as we can, so we will get those numbers to you. From Delegate Brown's questions, as I've stated earlier, DPM, Department of Personnel Management, and in collaboration with us and DOJ, there is a special duty pay procedures that's out there that's available and it's pretty much very descriptive into who qualifies as under the special duty pay. So in there, from the beginning of the meeting, I stated that the executive order lists this group as the first responders, and then besides that, in those procedures, it was also provided but in the executive order, it was provided that the division director or OPVP can designate employees as essential employees. So we're going by that particular. So when you, so as to that question, we are asking division directors to give us a list of their staff members whom they've designated as essential employees. Those have been few and far between. We have not received all of them yet, and we do ask for those to be submitted. So we know that the employees are committed to mitigating, they're essentially dedicated and are mitigating COVID-19. That's the biggest criteria that we have to meet under CARES Act. So for us to pay out the special duty fund to them. So it'll be for staff that are substantially dedicated to mitigating COVID-19. So therefore, those funds will be eligible to be reimbursed under the CARES fund. So that's the first thing that we're focused on. So there are a couple of categories in which we have to qualify, the employees to qualify. So those are the first two. And we have to continue with that to ensure that we are in compliance. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair?
Committee, yes, Honorable Otterso.
The other thing is, as we talk about the special duty pay, the way I understand the special duty pay is, I tell you the truth, I guess the breakdown was not given to council of what is the base number related to special duty pay. What is that amount? But what I understand is, this is just watching the news and so forth, and the special duty pay is determined based off of the, I think it was $25,000. This is just hearing it through the news during the time when the Congress was appropriating the CARES Act, and I believe that's within a year. And that's an adjustment, sort of, those will go to the individuals who are combating and mitigating the threat of the virus. And the base number is 25,000, which is prorated hourly to the individuals' hours that they are working. But I know that this year, not all our special duty or our individuals that are getting special duty pay will be encumbering 25,000, but somewhere up in the somewhere up there, close to 20,000. And like I said, it's based. I think it's prorated. And I just want to see if we could elaborate on that. Thank you.
Committee members, are there any other questions for Ms. Largo at this time? Okay, Ms. Largo, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair and honorable delegates. In response to Delegate So's questions, right now in the same procedures that we have that was established through DPM, the special duty procedure, we do have employees eligible is the non-exempt employees. Those are the hourly employees. So it's designated that those employees will be paid at time and a half. And then, so those will be by pay period. And then for the exempt employees, we're talking about people that are on a salaried personnel. So these are the personnel that normally do not qualify for overtime. So these people, not the exempt group, in those procedures, it's indicated that there will be, that the division director or OPVP may approve a lump sum payment, so which is at their discretion and subject to available funds. So that's how the program is set up. Having said that, that's how the procedures are written and established. But having said that, we do have non-exempt employees who are asking for their, not a lump sum amount, but to be paid their hourly rate or half of their hourly rate every pay period for the special duty pay. So basically, that's what we have been seeing. Some of them have requested just a lump sum amount that meets the criteria. So that's the answer we have, and we continue to give guidance every day, though. We are available by email for the department. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Fargo. Committee members, are there any other questions for Ms. Fargo at this time?
Madam Chair?
Honorable Otto So.
The reason why I'm asking this question is that I believe the special duty pay, to what I understand, whether it's when it was proposed by Congress, it was an additional $25,000 to the up to $25,000 for the essential employee. And does that time and a half coincide with that up to $25,000 a year, or is that something that is actually just drawn up by the controller's office? Because the way I understand, like I said, the way I understand it was that when the discussion was going on in Congress, I have no TV, but I kept up with what was going on with the appropriations in Congress when the CARES Act was being discussed. And what I understand is that the special duty pay was up to $25,000 to that employee that is considered essential employee. And now you're saying that we're paying them time and a half. So you're giving them the regular time, and then with half time so that half time added, does that equalize?
Honorable Otto So, hold on. Everyone who is listening in, can you please put your phone on mute? It's very disrupting when you're trying to speak and people are talking in the background. Please put your phone on mute. Thank you. Honorable Otto So, go ahead.
So what I'm getting to is that that $25,000 was proposed inside the CARES Act. That was up to $25,000 a year per essential worker. So does that half-time pay of that employee is justified to be within that prorated amount of that $25,000 a year salary? And that's just my thought, because if it's this time and a half, the regular time is being paid by the general fund, and the other is being paid by another fund, the CARES dollar. But I'm just trying to figure out how you guys are justifying. how you guys formulating your special duty amount. And I know. Hey there, yeah. Thank you.
Committee members, are there any other questions for Ms. Largo at this time? Okay, Ms. Largo, the floor is yours to answer the question. Oh, Honorable Eugene, sir, did you have a question?
Hello, yeah, the yellow hair's on the line.
Oh, yeah, it's A6 Jimmy Yellow here. Welcome. Did you have a question for Ms. Largo at this time?
Yeah, I just got a last minute comment by my brother on the site. My concern or my issues that relate to this, if you don't mind, to get in, or Eugene so can go ahead and head on me.
No, Honorable Yellow Hair, I confused you for Honorable Eugene, so go ahead.
Okay. We discussed this, this was also brought by Controller Kurt. Sometimes confusions. Make sure that there's no double dipping because these employees are already been paid for the Navajo Nations, either 238 funds or one-time grant or general fund when money comes in for CARE Act. This means that CARE Act will pay half of the time overtime or full, and there's confusion between the two. As long as no double dipping on this payroll for the Navajo Nation first responder or essential staff, and also exempt and non-exempt employees. Both are, if those two are eligible, they can get paid for it as essential staff. And that's my issues, Madam Chair. I hope you understand my issues right here. They need to make it very clear to clarify this, because they said we can't do anything unlawful things because it's going to cost anything federal funds. This is not going to be the first. This is not the first time that we're hearing to pay back if there's unlawful costs. This is always going on. Not the first time with our rodeo. Thank you, Shmaya, all my colleagues, Law and Order Committee, and also my other colleagues who are listening. Thank you.
Committee members, are there any other questions at this time for Ms. Largo? Okay, with that, Ms. Largo, the floor is yours to answer questions and comments made by Honorable Otto Stowe and Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and honorable delegates. Thank you, Otto So, Delegate So, and Delegate Yellowhair for your questions. As far as the special duty pay procedures, as I stated, we worked on that with the Department of Personnel Management, DOJ, and OOC. So basically, the DPM headed up this procedures, and that's what we've implemented and followed, and it's been refined by DOJ. So this procedure is completely separate from your question, Delegate. So the COVID 2019 Heroes Fund is what you're referring to as, which is a way for the Senator's Democrats proposal for a pandemic premium pay to reward, retain, and recruit essential workers. At this point, what we're utilizing is the DPM special duty pay procedures, which is completely separate from the $25,000 threshold, which you have brought up. So that is basically a federal guideline which they're proposing to reward, retain, and recruit essential workers. So those are completely two separate things. So the way we're the nation's paying based on time and a half, depending on the number, how many more pay periods that we have to go, or I do not think that we will reach a $25,000 threshold, because once the return to work has been implemented, the special duty pay more likely will not remain in effect unless it does continue. So right now we're going a month at a time, where the president decides whether to continue or not. The continue in that mode of having to continue the special duty pay. So as far as Delegate Yellow Hair, yes, in our office we have to make sure that we are checking all of the paperwork that comes through. We have to make sure that once we pay somebody that we don't pay them again under a different account. So the accounting, general accounting and contract accounting, they keep very good records of what they've approved, of what they what's come through their office as well. So we are really trying to mitigate what you brought up and making sure that there's no double dipping. So those are the responses I have. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, this is Yellow Hair, you don't mind.
Aviga, Honorable Yellow Hair.
So, the credo, they needed to Serena, that's the Honorable also. They are the already Congressman that they implement the law of the COVID-19 for hired by their own funds. But I think they do hire consultants to do the same thing with that personnel. Is that like that? With our program, Navajo Nation program, hire their own consultants or the personnel that based on our personnel procedure too. But these funds are available through the Navajo Indian tribe. If this happens, this is the opportunity they do that. They hire control. That maybe the controller will hire some of these employ their own personnel within the finance office. I think you mentioned that. Is it what you're talking about? In the turn the floor back to you and go back on the yeah.
Ms. Largo?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Delegate Yellow Hair, for your question. Right now, we are working on ensuring that there is support for our staff. So we are working on providing plan to increase our workforce, even with temporary individuals. So that is what we're working on. We want to ensure that we don't overwork our current workers, and they're doing the best they can. We do receive quite a bit of documents for the special duty pay. As far as the backlog question, it depends on the department. Like I did say that Department of Corrections, for example, has just now given us the March and April timeframe special duty pay, and we just received that in our office after it has gone through the approval process. So for us, there is, from the payroll perspective, we really don't have exact precise numbers as to how many departments who have not submitted paperwork yet. So until we do receive a call, then we can verify whether there is a submission for a particular employee as Delegate Otto has stated previously. So that is our answer. So yes, we are looking into hiring additional people to help us in the controller's office, and we are putting a plan together for that, which will be forthcoming to the committees and leadership. Thank you.
Madam Chair, one more for me over here again.
Go ahead, Mr. Delegate Yellowhair.
Okay, now when you do this type of process, do you get your private approval first, or you do it without private approval? You assuming that this is okay? Because sometimes when you want to do with a 630 or any one-time grant, if you're not really for sure, some you request for prior approval first before you do that. How do you control this hiring additional employees using your COVAX funding? Madam Chair, thank you very much.
Yeah, Honorable Yellowhair. We also have another question from Delegate Vince James. Honorable Vince James.
Madam Chair, although Law and Order Committee, although that is not again, what's your calling? Although bahna adishkedo lefigi, ya dan di kodo in regards to the listing that you shared with us for the pay period ending July 3rd and the other form. So my question in regards to that is for the section under the special duty pay, you for Kayenta Law Enforcement and Department of Corrections, and then as well as for the pay period ending June 19th. Again, that one's Emergency Medical Service and Department of Corrections. There's no hours entered. So the way I understand it is that these departments have not received any special duty pay up to this point. I would ask why, but I think I already know what your response is going to be in regards to the departments not submitting documents for the employee. That would be one of the other reasons. Two would also be that maybe there was a comma or a period or a word missing on the PAF, and it was sent back by DPM. So the documents are still going back and forth because of that missing comma, semicolon, whatever, period, or one letter, or whatever it is, one word in the remarks section on the PAF. So I'm assuming those are some of the reasons why the PAFs have not been submitted or updated in the system, which is the reason why I call it a nonsense lengthy process, and of the reason why I keep emphasizing why can't we move to electronic procedures and processes. Why can't we move forward in that fashion to take care of the nonsense requirement corrections that need to happen? So, that'd be my first one. My second one is in regards to the listing. Out of these departments for Division of Public Safety, it would be interesting to receive information of how many of the administration were paid this hazard pay, and how many were paid that are actually out there with boots on the ground, that are actually the frontline workers. Number three, it would also be very interesting to get a listing of how many of political appointees were paid the lump sum and that have already been paid. Yet we have our frontline workers that are still waiting to be paid. And the way to understand it is that's where that lump sum comes in, is they get that lump sum in. Again, once the listing is reviewed, that would be very interesting to see. And at times I've always asked, why doesn't it, the top chiefs, the three leadership, the three chiefs, why don't they have access to full FMIF, just like how controller has full access to it, to where they can go in there, look up and see who has been paid, to set up their own reports for their branch to see what has been paid out. And I say this because a lot of our great Navajo Nation employees have risked their life, have risked their family to go to work. And some have been very fortunate to not be fully exposed to the COVID-19. Some, unfortunately, have been exposed and we lost them. And now we have families that are out there hurting, shedding tears, trying to accommodate themselves with moving forward without their loved one because they had to be at work. And some of those individuals eventually were still trying to wait for their special duty pay. And because of the nonsense of an error on a PAF or the nonsense of not inputting it in the system, those individuals that never got to see that special pay. But yet, we're still in the process of having that go through because now it goes to the beneficiary of that person. And that's going to take some time again. And then we have those individuals, employees that are trying to recover. And yet we have this mentality, this mindset that, oh, it only takes 14 days to recover. It only takes 14 days to be in the hospital, to be fully recovered. But you know what? That is not true. And we have currently set the policy, and this is where I get so upset with Hesse for doing that resolution, that legislation for 14 days only. And each person does not recover in 14 days. And yet, still yet, our Office of the Controller, our Department of Personnel Management, still consider that, okay, you only have 14 days. From there on, you don't need to be paid the special duty pay. That still is very bothersome to me as a delegate, because I know how much of our Navajo Nation employees put in and how they step up to make their supervisor look great, to make their director look awesome. And yet we're still sitting here trying to figure out why they are not getting paid in a timely fashion manner. Overall, it's because of the ridiculous, redundant bureaucracy that we have in our nation. And yet, we still have employees that are trying to recover in there. At the same time, we're providing, as a nation, we're providing more stress and depression on them on how am I going to pay my bill? How am I going to get food on the table? I can't even go to the local grocery store because of the incline takes my breathing away because I'm still trying to recover. We have individuals, we have our employees that are in that situation, and yet we back documents back and forth. This needs to be corrected. This is not correct. This needs to happen. This needs to be put in. Just to satisfy just that one individual, that correction needs to be made. And it just does not make sense. So, with that, I hope saying this encourages staff to continue to provide that service and not to be that burden and not to be that red tape and say, hey, you still need to do this. Staff, you still need to turn this in. Staff, you still need to do this with the doctor. I hope that is put to a stop to a certain length. Because like I said, we have employees that are being released from hospital with oxygen tanks and they're recovering at home. But yet, we still think it's okay for us to tell them, oh, you still need to call the doctor. You still need to get this document. You still need to walk into your doctor's office or call your doctor's office. And that shouldn't be the case. So with that, those are my questions and my comments, and I would like to say more, but I know my colleagues have a lot to say as well, but this is where I will end it. Yeah, thank you.
Shanella, Honorable Vince James Otto, happy birthday. Miss Largo, I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to you. There was comments and questions made by Honorable Jimmy Yellow here, and then also Honorable Vince James. So with that, Miss Largo, the floor is yours.
Thank you again, Madam Chair and Honorable Delegates. As a response to Delegate Yellowhair's question, I believe that was more into ensuring that we are hiring additional staff to get through the CARES funding process to make sure that those are processed. Yes, we are working on that and ensuring that that is complete, and that we are ensuring that we do have additional help as we need. And then to Delegate James's question as to why EMS and Department of Corrections don't have any numbers. For Department of Corrections, we do have earlier I explained that they have yet to submit their paperwork, and which we just received last week. So for the going back to the months of March and April, so we will start keying those in because they're finally here in our office. And then for EMS, there have been some numbers provided for them as well. Prior pay periods, we have paid them out, including Ianta Law Enforcement. We have them. We also have paid them out in previous pay periods. So as we're getting documents, we are processing those as they come through. So so far, at least we for all of these departments, we have processed prior pay periods numbers for them. So these are the two pay periods, the most recent pay periods that I've shared. So we do have previous numbers for them As for your second and third question, as to what it would be interesting to receive information on administration versus boots on the ground. Ms. Kirk and Dr. Fowler did collaborated on a memo that we sent out to the department. So we're trying to get all of the boots on the ground people paid as much as we can prior to doing the exempt staff, because we know under the CARES program, the hourly people and the first responders, they are under the CARES fund. They qualify so for reimbursement to the nation. So we are going through that process, and we've asked for patience from the exempt staff when they inquire, because we, for an example, there might be 200 employees in one department, so we have to process those for special duty pay and overtime pay when they come in. So sometimes we get 2 documents per each individual. Either from the police department, fire and rescue, DPS, Delcon, or criminal investigations, so on and so forth. So we have to go back and look at those and ensure that they meet. Earlier I stated that they meet the time that has been entered on the timesheet. So overtime pay and special duty pay has to be calculated using the timesheet. So those two have to correspond and correlate, ensuring that when we're paying these out. And then a listing of political appointees. I have asked CPM in a separate email asking if they do qualify, and they said yes, that political appointees do qualify for special duty pay. So we have not really received that many requests yet for the political appointees. There are some that came through, but again, as I've stated, we have to get through the hourly non-essential employees first. So that's what we are trying to do internally here at OOC. We're trying to get through all of these processes and getting them paid. As far as the departments having the information as to who's paid and who's not paid, there is within the system for the accountants at the department. There's a report called Labor Distribution Report, which all accountants and administrative services officers or even the office staff have access to if they have access to FMIS, HRIS. There's a labor distribution report that they can pull by pay period, and they can reconcile that to know exactly how much was paid for through the special duty pay. And fourth, there is a HESI COVID-19 leave that was approved, which Delegate James has indicated. And yes, once a new leave has been approved through any of the committees, and once it becomes effective, here in OOC, we have to abide by those and implement those, and that is for employees who have contracted COVID-19, and it pretty much describes how they will be allocated 120 hours, and anything beyond the first 120 hours, then they'll utilize their accrued annual leave or sick leave. So basically, that's what we are abiding by. So Otherwise, we will be out of compliance with our internal control processes if we were not to implement the HESI CJN 08-20 as approved. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Largo. Committee members, are there any other questions for Ms. Largo?
Delegate James.
Honorable Vince James, go ahead.
Thanks, Chanel, other colleagues, so that it's not Friday. So, other Shuma, other not Hanensiki, she had, Kodo Nadish, Kodo Lesiki, partners, Nel has Anjabik in it, Aniki. In regards to the chapters that are certified, how are you guys working on shifting those funds to the certified chapters for the special hazard pay for that to be paid up to our chapter staff there? Thank you.
Ms. Largo?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Delegate James, for your question. I am not really fluent in that particular category. I think I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Willie, and he can provide a response for that.
Good afternoon. This is Robert Willie. As far as the special duty and chapters, this policy is only regulated to the Navajo Nation government. I'm not sure if there's a plan for the chapters, if they've secured funding on their side. We'd have to look into that issue a little bit more, and I'd have to talk to Dr. Yellowman on that issue. I'm sorry I don't have perfect clarification, but I can start looking into this question, Delegate James and Law and Order Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Committee members, are there any other questions for Honorable Honorable?
Okay. I guess back to the special duty pay. So what I understand is that Controller's Office is using what guidelines of special duty pay the Navajo Nation has in place. The way I understood the special duty pay related to the COVID, for mitigating COVID, it came up when law enforcement were resigning in New York when the pandemic started. And you did indicate that it's to help to recruit. But I understand it was that it was help to retain law enforcement and the essential workers and the frontline duty. And with that, if the CARES guidelines, if Congress intended special duty pay to be in that amount at $25,000, but yet you have the Navajo Nation indicating that they have their own special duty pay policy. How does that contradict each other? Because that 21 pay period from about when the pandemic started and up to December 30th, it's about 21 pay period. So you divide 20, you use that ratio, comes up to about $20-something thousand additional for special duty pay if someone works in that pandemic environment. And with the way things are going, it looks like I don't think the president's gonna bring back people to work until I think it's gonna continue the way things are at, because tribal employees were supposed to come back to work on the 27th, but I guess that's today. But that's moved up, and as it continues to surge in the state of Arizona and our surrounding states, I anticipate that we're going to be in this mode all the way to the end of the year, and that's just I'm trying to wrap my hands around better understanding that special duty pay, because, like I indicated, it came up when frontline workers were actually leaving their job in New York, and even Navajo, special duty and pay. That's where it came up. And now, if we are shorting the that frontline essential worker, how much are we shortlining them by that amount of $25,000 that was intended, that was recognized by Congress? And are we violating that? You know, in my concern, for instance, if you have a person that's deemed essential, that's making certain amount, and he or she has to come back to work deemed as an essential employee, and to get that special duty pay, I would make sure that you guys really look into that, because if someone starts to look at how the special duty pay came up and how Congress crafted it and identified it, maybe takes the nation in a legal journey. I really hope that we could argue to say that, oh yes, time and a half is sufficient. So that is just my thought about that. And yeah, thank you. Go back on mute.
Okay, committee members, are there any other questions from the floor at this time?
Mr. Sawyer, is it?
Honorable Eugene So, go ahead.
Regards to this CARES Act, but near sure there are pursuant legislation how it should be used accordingly. And I'm well aware that the Office of the Controller is really good how it should be spent. With that, you know, we as council, 24th Navajo Nation Council, a year January we appointed division directors and the hiring of the employees, I guess, done within that executive. And to my understanding, education is the answer, so they went to school. And the division directors, some of them have bachelor's degree. I'm very proud of those people that is helping the nation. I'm pretty sure they have the knowledge regards to what we're doing. And I really give a lot of credit to the controller, because she also hired some other people to help her, and she knows a lot. So the CARES Act has been debated in Congress to how it should be used and how much, etc. And so to this day, after we got the money and how it should be used in the hands of the controller, we've been debating again. So for how many more months? So I'm pretty sure those people that were questioning knows what's going on. Our job is to make legislation. If they have a problem if they came up to some kind of a situation, but then they can come and report those to us and try to straighten up with them, maybe to re-amend some legislation, etc. So that's how I think about my executive employees. Educated, knows what they're doing. If they had need help with some legislation, something that's in the way, something that's not working right, then they come back and report that to us, and we can pick up that whatever it is and we correct it. That's how I thought the Navajo Nation 24th Navajo Nation Council is elected for that reason. So if I'm wrong, I think I shouldn't be a council delegate, but that's how I feel about my people. They need help out there, and I think our nation executive employees are doing their best to do help out there. I också hade det snyder av det. Jag har kajdan där kan se det in i kodon där det till då. Or share what was going on. Don't share. People were trying to get people get out of harm's way. As you see, the ego is on how long he had what is carried at all. Yeah, Quigo she would have the other. My name is only for each state. No, every other than Dobby, she be hard. Also, on this case, also the same every morning, every evening. I shut off. So all shared today meeting is what we're reporting to the LOC. I know education is that what it took a lot of time and took some money. So with that, I give you guys credit. I don't have any other answers to say. Me, I'm just trying to help wherever the problem might be and try to help in that to resolve it. I don't share. Thank you.
Anybody members, are there any other questions at this time for Ms. Largo?
Not in the chair, we don't mind. Not this one. Yes, in the Jimmy Yellow here.
Honorable Yellow Hair, go ahead.
Okay, now did could you based on the care act money when the controller hiring is hired or supposed to be controlled by the Navajo Nation Personnel Office. Maybe you have to list what they told you. How many are already have been hired? Their names should be forwarded to, maybe to Law and Order Committee, Budget Finance Committee, who are hired by HT. Let's see the list. Let's see what's going on with this care and who are hired. Consultants, employers that will be hired by a care act fund. Maybe personnel office should be in the control this hiring. They've been holding me. It goes through you guys hiring. Even though program hire, it goes to the Navajo Nation personnel. That's a district that has their own personnel that they do that. So anyway, but I don't know what answer you're going to have for me, but this is one of the accountability that we like to see. We haven't spent one penny yet. I don't know, we did already. It should be also money up business. It's done the overposed and done the create higher. Who are they? Where are they coming from? Not just get to you, Madam Chair, to personnel office. Yeah, thank you. Go back on mute.
So Fargo, I believe that was 3 delegates who provided comments and questions to you, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor back over to you. Ms. Fargo?
Hi, good morning again, Madam Chair and honorable delegates. As to You've got Delegate Eugene, so thank you for your comments. We certainly do appreciate that. As to Delegate Yellow Hair, thank you for your comments as well, your questions. We are in the middle of proposing we are proposing getting a proposed plan together to hire individuals that we need. And yes, our OOC department, all hiring goes through DPM. We don't do, we have to ensure that we do get Navajo Nation employees hired through DPM. So yes, that is going to, we are inquiring with DPM to utilize the process if there are applicant pools out there available. And then to Delegate Otto, so right now we do have, we abide by the Navajo Nation policies and legislations that are written. So right now we are doing special duty pay at time and a half. So that has been our guiding light right now, which has been developed with DPM, DOJ, and OOC. So until anything else changes through legislation, we don't have anything else to implement as to what you have brought up during this meeting. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Committee members, are there any other questions for Ms. Largo at this time?
Madam Chair, this is Yellow Hair again. Act us, we have the list who are all hired right now on the CARE Act now. But she didn't answer me unless I didn't hear. How many of them are hired on the CARE Act?
Like that, Honorable Yellow Hair. Ms. Largo, can you please answer the question posed to you by Honorable Jimmy Yellow Hair? Ms. Largo?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Delegate Yellow Hair. Right now, through the Department of Personnel, additional employees to Office of the Controller, nobody has been hired yet. They have provided a pool to us, but we have yet to go through that process, and that's why I said we have proposed. And as Controller, Ms. Kurt has provided the information to Budget and Finance last week. She has indicated that